All right, let's talk about a role in our communities that's incredibly powerful, but honestly, a lot of us don't fully understand it. We're going to demystify the school board member. Because really, figuring out what they actually do is your first step to making a huge difference in our schools.
You ever have a concern, about your kid's school or maybe how your tax money is being spent, and you just feel lost? Like you're shouting into the void and nobody's listening? Well, it turns out there's a person whose entire job is to listen to you.
And that person is your local school board member. Now, this is the part that so many people get backward, and it's absolutely critical. They are not employees of the school district. They are your elected officials. That means they don't work for the administration. They work for you, for the community, for parents, for taxpayers.
So to really get a grip on this, we're going to break it down into 5 key jobs they have. This is basically our roadmap to understanding just how much power you can have through your representative.
Okay, first and foremost, their main mission is to be your voice. They're supposed to be the bridge between the community and the schools, making sure that what's happening on the inside actually reflects what we, the community, value and prioritize.
Let's follow the money. It's the big one, right? You pay your taxes and a big chunk goes to the schools. And you kind of wonder, so where does that all go? Well, your school board member is supposed to be your watchdog. Every single year, the board has to vote to approve the district's entire budget. And we're talking about everything, from what teachers get paid and the resources in classrooms to bus routes and keeping the buildings from falling apart. And this is where their power gets really clear. They can and they should reject spending that doesn't seem right or doesn't actually help kids learn.
So what does that actually look like for you? Well, let's say you see the district spending a ton of money on administrative salaries while teachers are buying their own classroom supplies. You don't just have to be frustrated. You can take that specific concern to your board member, and they have the power to challenge it when the budget is being decided.
And this influence goes way beyond just the budget. It goes right into the classroom itself. I mean, who actually sets the rules for how schools are run? Who picks the textbooks? Yep, you guessed it. That falls to the board.
And their influence here really breaks down into 2 big buckets. On one side, you've got policies. Think of these as the rules of the road for the district. Things like discipline codes, homework policies, safety procedures. Then on the other side, you've got curriculum. That's the actual content, the textbooks and materials used to teach our kids. The board oversees both.
And this is a really big deal. It means that if you hear the district is thinking about adopting a brand new health curriculum, for example, you have a right to see it. Your board member is the person who can make sure you get a copy and that your feedback actually gets heard before they make a final decision. That's real influence over what your kids are learning.
Okay, so the board sets the budget and the rules. But what happens when the people running the schools day to day, the administration, what if they aren't following those rules? Who holds them accountable?
This right here. This might be the single most powerful and honestly most misunderstood fact in public education. The school board is the superintendent's one and only boss. Full stop.
And this isn't just a symbolic thing. We're talking real power. The board is responsible for hiring the superintendent. They do their performance reviews. They set their goals for the year. And yeah, if the superintendent isn't leading the district well, the board has the power to fire them and find someone new. They are the ultimate check on administrative power.
And this is where it gets real for parents. You know that feeling when you've been trying to solve a serious problem at the school, you've sent the emails, made the calls, and you're just hitting a brick wall? You are not stuck. Your board member can go over everyone's head and take your issue straight to the top.
So that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. The school board member isn't just about oversight. They are your direct pipeline for turning a concern into actual concrete action.
And the process is usually way more straightforward than people think. Look, it starts with you. You see an issue. Step 2, you contact your board member. From there, they have the power to bring it up in a public meeting, which forces a discussion and can get it on the agenda for a future vote.
Let's make this super concrete. Say the playground at your kid's school has some unsafe equipment. You email your board member with pictures. They can then go to a public meeting and put the administration on the spot to get the facilities team to fix it.
And it's not just for, rusty swing sets. This works for the big policy stuff too. Let's say you and a bunch of other parents think the school start times are just way too early for teenagers. Your board member is the one who can officially request that the board study the issue and get it on the agenda for a real community debate.
So it all boils down to this. School board members aren't just supposed to be figureheads at a meeting. They are elected to listen to you, to ask the tough questions you'd ask, and to take real action. They are, quite simply, the person elected to make sure your voice is heard.
So the only real question left is, now that you know who your representative is and what they can do for you, are you using your voice? Because they are there waiting to hear it.